Hollywood just got hit with a bombshell that no one saw coming. Dakota Johnson and Chris Martin, one of the most low-key yet beloved couples in the entertainment world, have reportedly decided to call it quits after years of being together. Fans are stunned, insiders are whispering, and social media is on fire with speculation. What went wrong between the Coldplay frontman and the 50 Shades star who once seemed destined for forever? Before we dive in, don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments. Were the signs there all along? Let's uncover the truth behind this shocking Hollywood split. For years, Dakota and Chris were the couple everyone admired for their quiet love and strong bond. They managed to keep their romance away from the chaos of Hollywood, rarely appearing together in public, yet always giving off an aura of deep understanding. But according to new reports from multiple insiders close to the pair, something inside that private world began to unravel months ago. It wasn't explosive fights or scandals, they say, but rather the slow, painful drift of two people growing in different directions. Rumors first began swirling when fans noticed Dakota hadn't attended any of Coldplay's recent tour stops. In previous years, she was often seen in the wings, smiling proudly as Chris performed on stage. But this time, she was nowhere to be found. At first, many assumed it was due to her filming schedule. But as the silence stretched on, whispers began to grow louder. Sources claim that Chris's increasingly demanding tour schedule and Dakota's dedication to her growing career in both acting and directing left little time for the couple to connect. One insider reportedly told People magazine that they've been trying to make it work for months, but their lives are just in different places now. Another insider revealed that while they still have love for each other, the spark has faded, and that the decision to part ways was mutual but emotional. According to the report, there wasn't one big fight or betrayal, just the quiet realization that their paths were no longer aligned. But here's where it gets interesting. Just weeks before the breakup rumors hit, fans noticed that Dakota had deleted several old photos related to Chris from her social media. While the actress has always been private online, this subtle move didn't go unnoticed by eagle-eyed followers. Meanwhile, Chris was seen spending more time in Malibu with friends, looking subdued and deep in thought. Paparazzi captured him during a solo beach walk, without his usual calm smile. For longtime fans of both stars, this news feels like déjà vu. Chris Martin famously had a high-profile split with Gwyneth Paltrow, which they coined conscious uncoupling. That breakup made headlines for its maturity and respect, and now, it seems Dakota and Chris are following a similar path. There's no drama, no bitterness, just two people choosing peace over chaos. Yet, behind a calm surface, one can only imagine the heartbreak they're quietly enduring. Midway through this unfolding story, there's one lingering question that keeps fans guessing. Could this really be the end, or just a temporary break? Hollywood sources hint that the couple has broken up and reconciled before. Back in 2021, they reportedly took a brief pause due to scheduling conflicts, only to reunite stronger than ever months later. Could history repeat itself? Some close friends of the couple aren't ready to give up hope. One source told E! News that Chris still considers Dakota his muse. After all, he even wrote songs inspired by her, including tracks that fans speculated were love letters hidden in Coldplay's lyrics. Their connection runs deep, the source said. If any couple could find their way back, it's them. Still, others believe this time might be different, more final, more real. To understand the gravity of this breakup, we need to rewind to where it all began. Chris and Dakota first sparked dating rumors in 2017 when they were spotted together at a sushi restaurant in Los Angeles. Over the years, their relationship blossomed in quiet moments rather than red carpets. They were seen walking dogs, attending family gatherings, and enjoying cozy dinners with friends like Sean Penn and Gwyneth Paltrow. Yes, Chris's ex-wife, who always publicly supported their relationship. Gwyneth even described Dakota as a wonderful person and said she was happy that Chris had found love again. Their love story wasn't typical by Hollywood standards. No flashy PDA, no attention-seeking stunts, just quiet loyalty. Fans loved that about them, the simplicity, the stability. That's why this news feels like a punch in the gut for so many who saw them as proof that love could survive the spotlight. But fame has its price. As Dakota's career soared, taking on major film projects, becoming a producer, and directing her first feature, her time became more limited. Meanwhile, Chris was deep into Coldplay's global tour, balancing concerts, songwriting, and fatherhood. According to insiders, the distance became too much. They tried. One friend shared. They scheduled trips, late-night calls, everything. But it's hard when you're both constantly moving. Still, even in Heartbreak, both stars have chosen grace. Dakota has remained focused on her upcoming Netflix project, while Chris continues performing to sold-out stadiums. Neither has confirmed the breakup publicly yet, but the silence speaks volumes. Hollywood insiders suggest they're simply taking time to heal before addressing the public. As this story continues to ripple across social media, fans have flooded comment sections with heartbreak and disbelief. Many are calling them the most genuine couple in Hollywood, and others are begging them to reconsider. If Dakota and Chris can't make it, what hope do the rest of us have? One fan wrote on X, formerly known as Twitter, and just when fans thought it couldn't get more emotional, new whispers have surfaced that Chris might channel his heartbreak into Coldplay's next album. Sources say he's been writing more than ever, and those close to the band hint that the new songs could reflect a time of deep personal change. If true, we might soon hear the pain and love of this breakup through his music. Meanwhile, Dakota has been spotted in New York City, looking composed but distant. Paparazzi photos show her wearing a long black coat and sunglasses, walking briskly through Soho. No ring, no smile. Her friends say she's focusing on work and leaning on her close circle for support. "She's strong," said one insider. "This isn't the end of her story. It's just a new chapter." As we reach the heart of this emotional saga, one thing becomes clear. Even in Heartbreak, Dakota Johnson and Chris Martin remain class acts. There's no scandal, no public fighting, just two souls who shared something beautiful and now must let go. Their breakup might mark the end of a love story, but it also stands as a reminder of the strength it takes to walk away when love changes shape. So, could this really be goodbye? Or is Hollywood's favorite quiet couple simply taking a breather before finding their way back to each other again? Only time will tell. But for now, one thing is certain. The world will be watching, hoping, and maybe even holding their breath for a reunion that could still happen. Before you go, tell us in the comments. Do you think Dakota and Chris will ever get back together? Or is this truly the end of their story? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in Hollywood's most talked about breakup. Because in Tinseltown, nothing ever stays quiet for long, and sometimes even love stories that end still echo for years to come. What's even more heartbreaking about this breakup is how much the two had invested emotionally in their relationship. Those close to Dakota say she genuinely believed Chris was the one. She once described him as a light in her life, someone who grounded her in the chaos of fame. And for Chris, Dakota represented calm, compassion, and the quiet authenticity he'd long been searching for after years of life in the spotlight. For them, this wasn't a casual Hollywood romance. It was deep, real, and sacred. That's what makes this ending feel like such a loss, not just for them, but for everyone who believed in their love story. According to new reports surfacing this week, things began to shift late last year when the couple started living more separate lives. Chris was fully immersed in Coldplay's world tour, hopping between continents, performing to millions, while Dakota spent most of her time in Los Angeles working on her production company, Tea Time Pictures. Friends say they were both exhausted, often communicating only through calls and brief visits between projects. They were both trying to be everything for everyone, him as a father, musician, and bandmate, her as an actress, director, and partner. One source explained, something had to give. By early summer, the cracks began to show. Chris's bandmates reportedly noticed he had become quieter, less upbeat than usual, while Dakota appeared withdrawn during press events. She dodged questions about her relationship and focused on her career achievements instead. Still, many assumed they were just busy. But behind the scenes, sources claim they had already begun having difficult conversations about their future. Another emotional twist to this story is how close Dakota had become to Chris's children, Apple and Moses. She was often seen spending time with them, especially during holidays, and insiders described their bond as genuinely warm. The kids adored her, and she treated them like her own, which makes the breakup even harder, not just for Dakota and Chris, but for the entire family. One friend reportedly said, "Dakota really loved those kids. Letting go of that part of her life has been incredibly painful." Meanwhile, Chris's ex-wife, Gwyneth Paltrow, who had always shown remarkable grace toward Dakota, is said to be quietly offering support to both. She wants what's best for Chris and respects Dakota immensely. An insider revealed, "There's no bad blood, just sadness that things didn't work out." In a world where Hollywood breakups often turn ugly, this circle's maturity and empathy have impressed even the harshest tabloids. But the internet, of course, can't stop speculating. Some fans believe career ambition played a big role, while others think it might be about something deeper: commitment. Chris has always described himself as a free spirit, while Dakota has admitted in past interviews that she values stability and long-term connection. Their differences may have finally caught up with them. They're both passionate, but they see the future differently. One source told The Mirror, "Chris is still deeply focused on music and travel, while Dakota wants to start building a home base." Despite the pain, both stars seem determined to move forward gracefully. Dakota has been channeling her emotions into work, reportedly pouring herself into post-production for her latest indie film. Insiders say the role mirrors her own life, a woman trying to find peace after heartbreak. "Art imitates life," one colleague said. "You can see her emotions in her performance. It's powerful, almost cathartic." Chris, meanwhile, has found solace in music, spending long hours in the studio late into the night. Band insiders have hinted that the new Coldplay album, rumored to be titled Moonlight Divide, contains several tracks inspired by lost love and self-reflection. Lyrics like, "I tried to hold the light, but love slipped through my fingers," are already sending fans into an emotional frenzy. If true, this could be one of Coldplay's most personal and emotional records yet, a window into Chris's healing process. Even with a heartbreak, many who know the couple well insist that the love between them hasn't vanished. They may be apart, but respect remains intact. They still share mutual friends and, according to reports, have even checked in on each other since the split. "It's not cold between them," a close friend said. "They're still kind. They still care. They just know they can't keep forcing what isn't working." But not everyone believes this is permanent. Hollywood history is full of couples who find their way back after time apart. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel, even Chris himself and Dakota in the past. Could this breakup simply be another pause before a reunion? "You can't count them out," a source close to the couple insisted. "They've been through storms before. Maybe they just need space to breathe." In the meantime, the media spotlight has intensified. Every public appearance, every interview, every lyric Chris sings is now under a microscope. Fans are dissecting Dakota's wardrobe choices and body language, looking for clues about her emotional state. Just days ago, she attended a charity gala in Los Angeles, dressed elegantly in black, her expression calm but distant. Photographers shouted questions, but she walked past them silently, only pausing to smile politely at a fan who handed her a Coldplay vinyl to sign. That small gesture, quiet but poignant, said more than words ever could. As time moves forward, both Dakota and Chris seem focused on self-growth. Dakota has spoken before about how she values solitude and emotional clarity, and this breakup might be giving her exactly that. Chris, known for his introspective nature, often turns pain into art, a cycle that has shaped much of his creative genius. Perhaps this heartbreak, as painful as it is, will lead them both to new beginnings, personally and professionally. Still, fans can't help but hope for one last miracle, a reunion that restores their faith in Hollywood love stories. Because for years, Dakota and Chris represented something rare in the celebrity world: quiet authenticity. No scandals, no chaos, just love lived in whispers rather than shouts. And that's what makes their story so unforgettable. Whether this is the final chapter or just an intermission, one thing is certain: their connection has left a mark. The kind of love that doesn't vanish overnight, the kind that lingers in memories, songs, and quiet corners of the heart. Maybe one day, when the noise fades and time softens the pain, Dakota Johnson and Chris Martin will cross paths again, not as strangers, but as two souls who once loved deeply and still understand each other in ways no one else can. So, as fans around the world light up comment sections with heartbreak and nostalgia, one message echoes the loudest. Thank you, Dakota and Chris, for reminding us that even in endings, there's beauty. Even in goodbye, there's grace. And who knows? In a world as unpredictable as Hollywood, love sometimes finds its way back. When we least expect it, stay tuned, because this story isn't over yet.